He went to bed healthy and never woke up. What caused it? A simple habit most seniors overlook. He went to bed feeling fine. No aches. No signs of trouble. Just another quiet night in the same room he had slept in for decades. The air was still. The lights were low. He pulled the blanket up, shifted his head into the pillow, exhaled, and closed his eyes like he had done thousands of times before. That was it. That was the last breath he ever took. There were no alarms. No cries for help. No warning signs. Just stillness. And by morning, he was gone. It wasn't a stroke. It wasn't a heart attack. Not even something rare or dramatic. It was something shockingly simple. Something most seniors do every night without thinking twice. A habit that seems harmless, almost comforting, but can quietly, cruelly, and suddenly end a life. You'd never guess it. Most people don't. Doctors rarely talk about it. Families only realize after it's too late. But tonight, we're breaking that silence. Because this isn't just one man's story. It's a warning. A wake-up call. A truth buried beneath routine and comfort. And if you're over 60, if you've spent your life building, giving, surviving, and now, just now, are starting to find peace, you deserve to know the truth. Before the night takes another soul. Before the silence becomes permanent. Mistake number 1. Sleeping in a reclined chair instead of a bed. Have you ever fallen asleep in your favorite recliner? Maybe it feels easier on your back, or maybe you just drift off there after watching the late news. You wouldn't be alone. Millions of seniors prefer their chairs to their beds. It feels familiar, convenient. No need to shift or struggle to lie flat. But let me tell you a story, and I want you to listen closely. There was a man, 73 years old, widowed, living alone. His family said he was strong for his age. Still mowed his lawn. Still cooked his meals. Every evening, he'd sit in his old recliner with a book or a movie playing softly in the background. That chair had become his comfort zone, his sleeping spot more often than not. Cradled him gently, made it easier to breathe, so he thought. But what he didn't know was that he had undiagnosed sleep apnea. One night, he didn't wake up. Just like that, his daughter found him the next morning. No signs of struggle, just silence, peaceful, and yet heartbreaking. So what happened? Sleeping in a reclined chair, especially for older adults, can create the perfect storm inside the body. When you're not lying flat, your airways shift slightly. It might not seem like much, but even a subtle angle can reduce the airflow to your lungs. And if you're already dealing with sleep apnea or shallow breathing or heart disease, those few degrees of incline can become deadly. Doctors have explained it clearly. The lungs, when compressed even slightly, don't expand fully. Over time, especially through the night, that means less oxygen circulating through your blood. Less oxygen reaching your brain, your heart, your organs. Your body fights for breath without you even realizing it. Your heart works harder. Your brain starts to slip into deeper unconsciousness. Until it stops. And here's what makes it so dangerous: it feels normal. Comfortable even. That recliner becomes part of your daily rhythm. You feel like you're resting. But your body is under quiet, constant stress. And if you're alone, there's no one to notice the faint sounds of choking or to wake you when your breathing changes. So let me ask you, do you sleep in your chair? Even occasionally? Take a moment. Think about it. That one habit, so small, so seemingly harmless, could be putting you at risk without you knowing it. And you deserve better. You deserve restful, safe, restorative sleep. Now, if a chair can do that, what if the danger is in your bedroom itself? You might be surprised. Mistake number 2. It hides in the air you breathe every night. And it's something almost no one is checking for. Let's talk about it. Mistake number 2. Poor bedroom air quality. It was a bitter winter night in upstate New York. The kind of cold that makes you shut every window tight and crank up the heat. An elderly couple, both in their 70s, had settled into bed just like any other night. They had lived in that house for over 40 years. Knew every creak in the floorboards, every draft under the door. That night, though, something was different. Something they couldn't see, couldn't smell, couldn't feel. By morning, the husband had passed away. The wife was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. The cause? Carbon monoxide buildup. A faulty heater had slowly leaked the deadly gas into their bedroom overnight. With no open windows and no ventilation, the air had become a silent killer. The tragedy wasn't just in the death, but in how preventable it was. You might not think about the air in your room. You probably assume that if it smells fine, it is fine. But that's a dangerous assumption, especially as we age. As our bodies become more sensitive to environmental stressors, the air we breathe, 8 hours a night, every night, matters more than ever. It's not just carbon monoxide. Let's talk about mold. Yes, that invisible, creeping invader that hides behind the walls, under carpets, around windows. Mold spores in the air don't always cause dramatic coughing or sneezing, but over time, they weaken the lungs, strain the immune system, and cause chronic fatigue. Many seniors think they're just slowing down when in fact, their body is reacting to a toxic environment. And then there's the issue of oxygen. A sealed bedroom in winter or during extreme heat in summer can become a trap. Low oxygen levels, stale air, it all puts stress on the heart and brain. Especially overnight, when breathing slows and deepens, the body needs more, not less, oxygen. A senior man once said, "I used to wake up tired no matter how long I slept. Turns out I wasn't breathing clean air all night." He installed an air purifier and cracked his window just half an inch even during the cold. 2 weeks later, he started waking up feeling alive again. So what can you do? First, check your air quality. You can get a monitor for under $100 that tracks CO2, humidity, and even particulate matter. It's worth every penny. Install a carbon monoxide detector near your bedroom. Don't assume your current one works. Test it. Get an air purifier, especially one with a HEPA filter. Not just for allergies, it removes fine particles that strain your lungs over time. And then try this: open a window. Even slightly. Just a crack. Let your bedroom breathe. Let the air move. Let fresh oxygen in. Your body will thank you in ways you don't even notice until you feel the difference. The air in your room should never be your enemy. But if you're not paying attention, it quietly becomes one. And now, what about something as simple, as comforting, as ordinary as your blanket? Sounds innocent, right? But for one man, that very comfort turned into a coffin. Mistake number 3 is something most of us hold on to every night, and it may be suffocating us slowly. Let's uncover the truth. Mistake number 3, heavy blankets and restricted movement. She was 76 years old, a widow living in assisted care. Kind-hearted, soft-spoken. The staff said she loved soft music and warm tea before bed. One night, after a minor fall earlier in the day, the nurse gave her a mild sedative to help her rest. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just a precaution. She went to bed early, tucked in with her favorite weighted blanket, the one her granddaughter had given her for anxiety and better sleep. It was supposed to bring comfort, calm her nerves, help her feel safe. But by morning, she was gone. No foul play, no trauma, just a blanket and silence. The investigation later revealed she had likely shifted during the night, half awake, groggy from the medication, and didn't have the strength to move the heavy blanket off her face. Her reflexes, slower now than they once were, didn't respond in time. She didn't panic. She didn't struggle. Her breathing slowed, and then stopped. And the saddest part? She didn't even know she was in danger. As we age, our muscles weaken. Our reflexes dull, not drastically, but enough to matter in the quiet hours of the night. The strength we once took for granted, the ease of tossing a blanket aside, flipping to the cool side of the bed, adjusting a pillow, those things aren't always so easy anymore, especially under sedation, especially when we're not fully awake. Weighted blankets have become trendy, comforting, even recommended for anxiety and insomnia. But for elderly adults, especially those with limited mobility, poor circulation, or who take nighttime medications, they can be dangerous. A soft trap in the dark. Even standard blankets can pose problems. Layers upon layers meant to keep warm during winter nights can restrict movement, especially for someone with arthritis or muscle weakness. A tangled foot, a twisted sheet, the inability to roll over, all can contribute to a night filled with subtle yet serious risks. So what can you do instead? Go for light, breathable bedding. Look for layers you can easily move in your sleep. Think cotton, bamboo, or moisture-wicking fabric blends that keep you warm without trapping weight on your chest. One good option? Layered blankets that can be removed easily instead of one thick comforter. That way, if your body needs to adjust, it can. And if you're someone who tends to get cold, try heating the room instead of piling on weight. Or use a heated mattress pad with automatic shutoff features rather than layering up in ways that could hold you down in a vulnerable state. It's not about sleeping in fear, it's about sleeping in safety. Awareness, not anxiety. That blanket may feel like a hug, but if it keeps you from moving freely, it becomes something else entirely. Your bed should be your sanctuary, not your trap. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever woken up suddenly in the night, gasping for air or with your heart racing? You might have brushed it off, but it could be something far more serious. Because mistake number 4, it doesn't come from what's on your bed. It comes from within your body. And if you're not paying attention to this next one, you could be missing the most important warning sign of all. Mistake number 4, sleeping with medication side effects. You know how it goes. You're lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. Minutes pass. Maybe hours. You're tired, but your mind won't settle. So, like many people, you reach for something. A little over-the-counter sleep aid. Maybe a prescription pill from the doctor. Just something to take the edge off, help you drift into rest. Seems harmless. And at first, it is. You fall asleep faster. Stay asleep longer. But then something starts to change. You wake up groggy. Sluggish. You feel like your brain is stuck in molasses. Maybe your breathing feels a bit shallow. You brush it off, just a side effect, right? No big deal. Except it can be a big deal. Sedatives, especially antihistamines and older sleep medications, can cause respiratory depression. That means your brain doesn't tell your lungs to breathe as deeply or as often as they should. And for younger, healthier folks, the body can usually compensate. But for seniors, for people with heart or lung conditions, even slight depression of respiratory function can be the difference between waking up and not. Now let's add something else to the mix. You've got a bit of arthritis pain, so you take a painkiller before bed. Maybe an old muscle relaxer. Maybe a small glass of wine to relax your nerves. Here's where things get dangerous. That combination, a sedative, a depressant, another depressant, a little more pressure on the body's most vital functions, until, silently, the systems meant to keep you alive begin to slow. It doesn't always happen fast. Sometimes it's gradual, night after night, layering drug upon drug, side effect upon side effect. Until one night, the body can't compensate anymore. And here's the part no one wants to talk about. Most seniors aren't told this clearly. Your doctor might not know everything you're taking. Your pharmacist might not know you had that glass of wine. Your family may not know that the medicine cabinet holds 3 different pills that all say, may cause drowsiness. But when those pills interact, the risks multiply. So what can you do? Start simple. Use a pill organizer. One with labeled days and times. Not just for clarity, but for safety. It helps you see what you're taking and when. And more importantly, have an honest conversation with your pharmacist. Not just your doctor, your pharmacist. They know the side effects, the interactions, the overlaps. They can help catch the things others miss. Bring all your medications, supplements, and sleep aids in a bag. Lay them out. Ask, is it safe to take these together at night? Because here's the truth. You deserve rest. Real rest. The kind that leaves you feeling refreshed and alive the next morning. Not the kind that puts your life quietly at risk. And I want to hear from you. Have you or someone you love ever felt confused, overly groggy, or just not quite right after a nighttime medication? Drop a comment. Share your story. You never know who else it might help. Now imagine this. Your meds are in order. The air is clean. Your bedding is safe. But there's one last habit. A silent one. A habit almost no one thinks about because it doesn't happen in the evening. It happens in the morning. Mistake number 5 begins the moment you open your eyes, and it may be the most quietly destructive one of all. Mistake number 5. Sleeping alone without safety monitoring. He lived a quiet life, widowed for 6 years. His kids lived a few towns over, busy raising families of their own. But he didn't mind. He liked the calm, the silence. He had his routines. He watched his old westerns, drank his coffee black, and always made his bed in the morning. Every morning. But on a cold Tuesday in February, his bed stayed unmade. He'd had a stroke sometime in the early hours, maybe around 3 a.m. No warning, no sounds. Just his body, half paralyzed, unable to call for help. He lay there for 14 hours before anyone found him. A neighbor noticed his paper still on the step and something felt off. 14 hours alone. Not because no one cared, but because no one knew. This isn't about fear. It's about being known. About someone, somewhere, noticing if something's wrong. Because when we live alone, especially in our later years, time becomes precious in emergencies. Every minute counts. A stroke. A fall. Even slipping out of bed and hitting your head on the corner of the nightstand. If no one sees it, no one can help. And let me be clear, independence is beautiful, powerful, but so is protection. So what can you do? Start small. A smartwatch with fall detection or heart monitoring can alert emergency contacts instantly. Many of them can detect irregular heartbeats, drops in oxygen levels, or sudden movement changes. They're not perfect, but they're something. Home cameras in shared spaces, not the bedroom necessarily, unless you're comfortable, can help family or friends check in visually. Just one angle in the hallway or kitchen. A simple motion alert at night. Peace of mind, not invasion. Better yet, set a morning check-in system. It can be as simple as a text, a call, a scheduled Alexa or Google Home reminder, say good morning. And if the device doesn't hear your voice, it triggers an alert. This isn't paranoia. This is preparation. Because your life, your whole life, is worth guarding. You've lived through decades of joy, heartbreak, change. You've survived things many wouldn't understand. You've earned the right to feel safe in your own bed. Don't leave that safety to chance. Don't let silence become danger. And if you're listening to this thinking, I don't want to be a burden, hear me now, you're not. Wanting someone to know you're okay is not being needy, it's being human. So before we move forward, take a second. Ask yourself, if something happened to me tonight, who would know? And if the answer makes you pause, maybe it's time for a change. Because next, we're going deeper, not into something you do wrong, but something you believe. Mistake number 6 isn't about your environment or your body, it's about your mind. And it might be the hardest one to face. Mistake number 6. Electrical appliances and fire hazards. It started with warmth. Just a little heating pad tucked under the sheets to soothe an aching back. Something he did every night in the winter. It helped him sleep, kept the stiffness at bay. Harmless, right? Until one night it wasn't. The heating pad had frayed near the cord. The mattress it lay on, older, more flammable, with worn-out padding and synthetic fibers that caught fire fast. He never saw it coming. The fire broke out sometime after midnight. Smoke filled the room in minutes. And by the time the alarm went off, it was already too late. That's the thing about comfort. It can quietly become dangerous when we stop paying attention. Electrical appliances, especially in the bedroom, are one of the most overlooked fire hazards for seniors. Heating pads, electric blankets, old lamps, extension cords under rugs, power strips overloaded with chargers. These things seem small, routine, but they carry risk, especially as appliances age and homes settle into wear and tear. Let me ask you, when was the last time you checked the cord on your heating pad? Or looked behind your nightstand at the outlet? Do you know if your smoke detector actually works or just looks like it does? Here's what you can do tonight. Not next week. Tonight. Unplug anything that doesn't need to stay on while you sleep. Check the cords. If you see any fraying, exposed wires, or odd smells, replace it. Not repair. Replace. If you use a heating pad, make sure it has an auto shut-off feature. Don't tuck it under your body or layers of bedding. Heat needs room to breathe. And if your mattress is more than 8 years old, especially if it's made of older foam or doesn't meet modern fire safety standards, it might be time to replace that too. Make smoke detectors non-negotiable. Every bedroom, every hallway, check the batteries twice a year. Better yet, install a unit that talks and connects to your phone. You'd be surprised how many homes don't have working smoke alarms, and how fast a bedroom fire can become fatal without warning. This isn't about fear. It's about foresight, because accidents rarely announce themselves. They wait until we're asleep, until our guard is down, until routine makes us forget that even the simplest habits, like warming your bed, need a second look. And before we move on, just take a breath. Think about the things around your bed, the cords, the gadgets, the space heater, maybe, the electric blanket you've had since the 90s. Would you bet your safety on them? If not, you already know what to do. Let's make sure that every night is safe, every morning is fresh, and every chapter you've yet to write is one filled with joy, purpose, and health. I know it can feel overwhelming, but we're not alone in this journey. You've made it through so much already, and now it's about taking those small steps to ensure your comfort and safety tonight, tomorrow, and in the years to come. I want to hear from you. What changes have you made to your sleep habits after 60? What scares you the most about getting older and the things you never thought would need attention? Share your story in the comments below. Let's create a space for understanding, support, and growth. And if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. This isn't just a channel. It's a late bloomer community, one where we rise together. Your best chapter might just be your next one, and I'd love to be part of it with you. Until next time, sleep peacefully.